call this video Annuity 101 or Annuities 101. And I'm going to go over the different types of annuities with you so you have an understanding of how these solutions operate. Now, I know that annuity can be like a four-letter word in some circles. I know that there's a lot of, if you go online, you can get anybody who has a keyboard can give you an opinion on annuities. I feel it's important to know and to understand how these solutions operate. What we're always trying to do is to match your financial risk profile with your financial solution. And I can't tell you how many people I meet who have this financial risk profile and this solution, and it's completely misaligned. So I think that's very important. Now, I'm going to turn this over, and this is very exciting. Yesterday, I learned that when you're writing on the back of the board, if you turn it over, it's going to be upside down. So I figured that out, so I'm very happy about that. So I am a fiduciary, and a fiduciary is somebody who is obligated by law to operate in his or her client's best interest, not just clients, prospects. If I meet somebody on the street, I'm obligated by law. I could lose my license. So I always put my clients first because I like to eat and pay for my house and what have you. Now, I believe very strongly that the solution to be able to match your financial risk profile to your financial solution, we have to have access to all the available tools. That's why I'm independent. And so I do have a dog in the race here, whatever that expression is. I do make money selling annuities. I'm not trying to sell you one. I can't. I don't know your unique situation. In this forum, I'm here to educate. So there's an insurance company has long-term care and life insurance and annuities. And then asset management is sort of what I do with my securities license, which is create portfolios that match people's risk preference and tolerance and what have you. But I do believe that the answer involves both of these solutions. And if you deal with somebody who doesn't have an insurance license, you're excluding half the available solutions. And it's just, I think that's a conflict of interest. I think as much as it is a conflict of interest, it could be to say, oh, you should do this because you get paid. I think it's a greater conflict of interest if we don't alert clients and people to the breadth of the solutions we offer. We need to offer more solutions. So let's go back here. I feel the answer lies in the middle. Okay, so we're going to start up here and with immediate annuity. So those are a little bit different. So this is when you give a check to an insurance company and they immediately start giving you an income stream. This is generally irrevocable, right? Once you do it, you do it. Now, here's a critical distinction. When you think about an immediate annuity, somebody says, I don't want to give $100,000 to that insurance company. What if I die the next day, right? So it is just a sliver of annuities that are sold that operate that way, where you would lose everything. It is not worth it. I don't go near it. There's always a return provision so that if something untimely happens, it goes to your heirs. The key with this is it's very straightforward. Here's a check, start sending me my payments, and that's how that works. So that's an immediate annuity. Now this is a little more complicated over here. Is the world of deferred annuities, where we don't necessarily take income immediately. So in this world, there's fixed and there's variable. So let's just get to variable right before we'll get variable out of the way. So I don't do variable annuities. I'm not licensed to do them. I don't like them. I know people have had success with them. It's not really my cup of tea, but here's how they work. You're actually investing in the market, and you're going to find that when we come over here to the fixed and certainly the indexed, we're not investing in the market. We're sort of investing alongside it, which is why the insurance company can protect your principal. In this case, we're investing in the market, so there is the risk of market loss. We can lose dollars. And there are a lot of fees involved. I think that when you hear about high fees with annuities, a lot of it has to do with these variable annuities. Immediate is different because what they're essentially saying is so give us a check and we'll start sending you money and you're getting what you're getting. So either there are no fees, well, we know there are fees, or they're just sort of embedded in that payment that they promise you. But it's very straightforward here. This is a little less straightforward. So this is something a little bit different. I don't see a lot of that right now. Okay, so let's go over here to the fixed side. So over here is the traditional side. Everything is tax deferred. So traditional is tax deferred, index is tax deferred, and the principal is guaranteed. So the one thing about this is that we want our principal to be guaranteed. And I feel that as you age and you get closer to retirement, we want that that foundation to go higher each year. I mean, there is a point in time, like, so I'm 55, like, I don't ever want to wake up and have less money than I have right now. I have money in the stock market. It's not a great time in March, middle March, 2022, but I want to have some assets that are protected. So this traditional it's often just a fixed interest rate. They're going to tell you how it's going to grow. It's not super attractive right now because a lot of that is based on interest rates. So, interest rates are really low. The Fed said they were going to start raising it, but now as I record this, there's the war, Ukraine, Russia, inflation. I don't know what's going to happen. They haven't gone up yet. So both of these entities, traditional and index, would be tax deferred and principal guaranteed. Now here's where the difference comes in. So let's go to indexed annuity. So a lot of these insurance companies have different indexes that you can invest in. Now, you're not investing in the market. So if you have the NASDAQ crediting method, you're not in the NASDAQ. That's how your principal is protected. You can't lose money. It's in you're in alongside it in a fund that the insurance company has, and it's just sort of following it. That's the metric. So you can invest in any in the S&P, PIMCO bonds. There's all these companies with different crediting methods. It's a lot of marketing to show a lot of the messages. I think that they all basically come out in the same place, but I think the insurance companies want to have a big glossy brochure with a lot of crediting methods. A lot of them are hard to understand and so forth. So, but in the indexed annuity world, that's where we're seeing a lot of the growth. That's where now the idea is that once you have an increase, so say from 100,000, now it's 104,000, you can't ever go backwards. And that's what people like. You can't go backwards. Now, over time, what happens is we turn these streams of income, we turn these vehicles, easy for me to say, into streams of income. And then it behaves like a pension. So I have a video, and I'll put it in the description. If you don't have a pension, buy one. Many of us don't have pensions now. Many of the last generation did. And so what a lot of these do is they serve as pensions. It's not super complicated that if you don't have any sort of guaranteed income, you might want some. So the beauty in some of these instruments for a portion of your portfolio, a portion, is that you have the income that will last longer than there's money in the contract. So that's if you think about a pension, a firefighter, one lives to 90, one lives to 75. The one that lives to 90 is getting paid that whole time. The one that lived to 75 didn't get as much out of the pension. That's how this works. When the contract is empty, in some of these, certainly on the index side, when the contract is empty, they continue to pay in many solutions with the chance of increases every year until you or your spouse passes away, if that's the way you've set it up to receive that kind of income. So everybody wants to know about liquidity, and liquidity is a definite thing. It's a definite thing, and so with this immediate annuity, again, it's irrevocable, and then you're sort of done, right? If you pass away too soon, the money will be there. What's left? So that's one thing. A lot of these instruments allow you to take 10% out a year without any ramifications, but these are longer term contracts. I've never had anybody say I don't want this anymore, because the kind of planning I do is I'm always trying to create an income base to replicate a pension for people who don't have it. But you really, you're not going into these things and saying in 2 years, I'm done with this. I need my money back. There are ramifications. So I think that if you like guarantees and if you want some security, then this is an idea worth examining, right? It's not a recommendation to buy one. I don't know you or your unique situation, but it is something to think about. And to exclude either of these categories, just because it's something that you read on the internet or a friend told you, is probably not a great idea. So I hope this is helpful. If you have questions, put them in the comment box below. If you like what I'm doing, continue subscribing to get financial strength now. My goal is simply to help you have safety, simplicity, and most of all, financial strength at any age or stage of your journey through life. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate you watching.